We have new details, disturbing details, about the brutal burning death of a woman on a New York subway. A short time ago, the suspect was arraigned in court, and according to testimony from police officers on the scene, he allegedly set fire to the sleeping woman's clothing and, quote, fanned the flames by waving a shirt around her.
CNN's Gloria Pazmino joins us now from New York. Gloria, what more are you learning?
Yeah, Danny, Erica, we're getting more details because just a short while ago, the suspect in this case was actually arraigned. He appeared in front of a judge in Brooklyn Criminal Court, and it was there that we got an opportunity to learn some of the details that were reported by the detective that initially investigated this incident. It happened early on Sunday morning, and as we've been reporting, there was a man who now stands accused of murder in the first degree who approached a woman who was asleep inside of a subway car. He pulled a lighter out of his jacket pocket and lit her on fire. That woman died. Now, the suspect was in court just a few hours ago, and we got some additional detail, including what you mentioned at the beginning, that at one point they'd have video evidence showing that the suspect actually was fanning the flames by using a T-shirt to fan the flames as the woman was becoming engulfed in fire. We've also learned that the victim's cause of death has been determined by the city's medical examiner. She died of smoke inhalation and thermal injuries. The woman who died in this incident has not yet been identified. Now, the suspect, Sebastian Zapeta-Calil, is 33 years old. He's originally from Guatemala, and he is facing murder in the first and second degrees, and arson charges. He was remanded back into custody, and he is expected to appear back in court next Friday. We have heard from the Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez in this case. He has said that he expects to prosecute the case to the full extent of the law, and it is a case that has just really put a focus on a big issue here in New York City, and that is the safety of the public transit system, as well as public safety in general, mental illness, as well as homelessness. Both the suspect and the victim in this case are believed to have been homeless. The suspect has spent the last few months checking in and out of homeless shelters, and the woman, who has yet to be identified, also believed to be homeless by law enforcement officials. We have reached out to the lawyer who is representing the suspect in this case, but have not heard back, but just learning some really horribly graphic details in the last few hours about how this incident unfolded.
Yeah, it is so disturbing. And Gloria, just to follow up, you said the woman the victim there believed to have been homeless, but she hasn't been identified. Is there anything that has been learned about her at this point?
Yeah, the woman has not been identified, and without getting too graphic, the reason they have not been able to identify her is because the medical examiner is essentially having to go through dental records in an effort to figure out who she is. That is part of the reason we do not know who she was. The fact that her body was left in a condition where she was not able to be recognized or anything in her belongings to figure out who she was. So hopefully we will learn her identity soon. It's something that we know the medical examiner's office is working on. In fact, it was part of the reason why the arraignment was so delayed. They were waiting on the autopsy to be completed so that could be included in the testimony that was used in the arraignment.
Gloria Pazmino, thank you for staying on this very, very sad and scary story. Appreciate it. All right, for more on this, let's talk more with former NYPD Detective Sergeant Felipe Rodriguez. He's now an adjunct professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Thank you, Felipe, for being with us on this Christmas Eve. First, I just want to get your reaction to this new information that is just so troubling, that this suspect allegedly fanned the flames after setting fire to this victim.
It's one of the most heinous things I've ever seen in 31 years of law enforcement. The fact that he's actually, fanning the flames like that, it's almost the point of being almost torture. Because here we are, you're actually increasing, right, the temperature of the flames and fueling them. So it's something unimaginable, something almost out of a horror movie that we're seeing in the New York City subway system at this time.
Felipe, can you explain to me, from your perspective, how important it is to actually learn the suspect's motive in this case? Why would that be helpful at this point?
Well, it is. It goes towards, the charging offenses that we're going to have, the indictment that's going to be brought forth. just for the fact of, was it premeditated? Was it something out of, did they know each other? And it all goes to the level of being between a second-degree murder, first-degree murder. And this is one of the few times you might get that first-degree murder indictment, because if you cause the death of a person and you're actually through torture, it definitely elevates the charges. So we always try to make sure that, motive is a key thing when it comes to charging any criminal charge. So that's what basically the detectives are trying to piece together at this time.
Felipe, New York Governor Kathy Hochul's office said in a statement that crime rates have decreased by 10% since the governor introduced a subway safety initiative back in May and are down 42% since January of 2021. What's your perspective on that as a New Yorker?
As a New Yorker and as a professor, I always tell my students, let's look at the evidence, correct? And while she is saying some truthful information, it's all how we kind of skew things at times. What the governor's leaving out is, major felonies are down. That's correct. But so far, we've had 9 murders this year in the subway system at this same time. So that gives you an increase of over 60%. At this time last year, we only had 5. So, there's certain felonies that we could say, it wasn't really a larceny. It might have been a robbery. And we could kind of change things around on paper. But murders are still murders. And that's kind of hard to make a way that the governor, make that disappear in any which way.
Do you feel safe riding the subway these days?
You know what? It's almost like, it's heightened alert. You can't fall asleep on the trains. Unfortunately, I wouldn't recommend any family member to do that. I would constantly recommend to them, ride where the motorman is or the conductor, which is one of the more safe areas. And if you get that New Yorker feeling, right, you get that tingling type thing that something's going wrong, follow it, go with it, go with your hunch and move to another car. Or you know what? Just get off the next station, wait for a following train. We have to be hyper vigilant, unfortunately. That's the way the transit system has become.
Felipe Rodriguez, thank you as always for your perspective. Appreciate it. Erica?
Thank you.